What's going on, pals? It's El Tiburon here with my games I beat in 2025. Let's go! Alright, before we get started, we gotta crack open a little brewski, a little lager, if you will. This one comes to us from El Segundo Brewing Company out of El Segundo near LAX. This is Steve Austin's Broken Skull American Lager. I'm a big fan of his IPA, but my wife is actually a big fan of this one, the lager. I don't know, what are lagers? Is that like a Corona? I don't know. I'm not really like a beer connoisseur. I'm just a beer drinker and chugger. But let's crack this one open. Let's get that. Oh man, ain't that the greatest sound you've ever heard in your life? Pour this into this Super Mario 2 mug right here. Oh yeah. Let's get rid of some of this head right here. Swig beer for those middle-aged gamers. Those gamers with the arthritis and the carpal tunnel. But we're still out there gaming. Swig of beer to you guys. Tastes just like candy. I'm a bigger fan of the IP, but this one is good. Steve Austin. That's his beer. Good job on that beer, Stone Cold. But yeah, we're going to go through the games I beat in order. In my trusty little book here, I took notes of all the games I beat. I put the likes, the dislikes, and gave them all a rating. So let's get started. Let's check out my little gaming journal, gaming diary. Alright, first up, I beat Shinobi 3 on the Sega Genesis on my Mega SG, which is analog. It's an analog created console that's essentially an HDMI souped up Sega Genesis. So yeah, I beat Shinobi 3. I've always loved Shinobi 3 since I was a teenager. I always thought it looked so cool. Had cool music, had cool mechanics, action mechanics, but I've never beaten it. So yeah, finally got to beat it in January. Thanks to Mazin Power, old Mazin boy out there. He helped me out in I think he joined me for like the last stream and he gave me some good tips on how to beat the game. I was kind of stuck on the stage where you're kind of like jumping rocks, and I remember he gave me the tip of like use the ability that helps you jump higher. That pretty much solved the problem. So yeah, Shinobi 3. What can I say about my likes? Graphics are awesome, music is amazing, satisfying combat, not too difficult. Boss battles are great. Yeah, I remember thinking, I mean, I definitely got stuck on that rock stage. I think the second to last stage where you're kind of like doing a lot of platforming, and you gotta be very precise. I was struggling there too. I was dying a lot, but it's beatable. Like if I beat it, how many streams did I do? Maybe 4 or 5 streams. If I can beat it in that time, I'm sure like pro players, I'm sure some of you guys out there, Alpha Nerd, Megadan, you guys probably beat it in like one sitting, right? But for me, I didn't think it was too hard, just the right amount of difficulty. My dislikes, didn't care for the platforming and wall jumping stages. No password system. Yeah, so I do remember now another stage where you have to do a lot of wall jumping. I think you're kind of like inside of like I don't know, like a hut, and it's kind of like a maze, and you're going through different doors, and you have to do it in the right order. But there's a lot of precise wall jumping. I was not a fan. I think it's because I was struggling so much in that stage, and also the second, pretty much the last stage before the final boss. I was struggling so much. I think I was not a fan of it. I was more of a fan of like the hacking and slashing and battling the bosses and trying to learn the patterns of the bosses. So yeah, for me, I was not a big fan of it. No password system. Yeah, I guess that's another thing I wasn't a fan of, because you have to beat it from beginning to end, like straight through. I kind of liked when I was playing through I think it was Splatterhouse 2, how they give you kind of like passwords so you don't have to, start all the way from the beginning. Like I already had the beginning of Shinobi, the first couple of stages, I had them down already. So it was kind of like a little redundant, but it's, I guess it's like they say, like the kids say, you gotta get good, I guess. But for me, I wasn't a fan of that, but love this game. This game, yeah, freaking awesome. I gave it a rating of 4.25 out of 5. Freaking great game. I'm so glad I finally got to beat it. Swig of beer for all things ninja in the 90s and 80s. It was like a craze, especially in the 90s. Early 90s, it was all about the ninjas. Shout out to Shinobi. I think his name is Joe something. What the hell is his last name? I don't remember. Joe something. But I always thought it was funny his name was Joe. A ninja named Joe. So, swig a beer to all those ninjas out there. Next up in March, I beat Gex, the OG Gex. I beat this on my PlayStation 3 on the Fat Boy PS3. I beat the digital version. I don't actually own a disc of the original Gex, so I beat it. I bought it digitally, so I beat it on the PS3 digitally. Likes of the game. Love the Dana Gould one-liners. So that's the guy that voiced the Gex, Dana Gould, which was a comedian. I don't know if he still does if he still tours and does comedy shows, but he's a comedian from the 90s that voiced Gex. Good graphics. I think the graphics are pretty solid. They kind of hold up. The platforming. The platforming was good. I thought it was good. First worlds are not too difficult. Yeah, so I do remember that. I think maybe up until the last 2 stages, I was like, I wonder why people always say this game is so hard. Like I said, I'm not like a pro gamer. I'm not a high level gamer. I'm kind of getting through it with not a lot of difficulty. I mean, for me, at least for me. So I didn't think it was that difficult. At least the first few stages, especially that last world. Jesus Christ, you have to beat it. You have to beat I think there's like 2 or 3 stages, and then you have to beat the boss, and you have to beat them all. Like if you lose all your lives, you have to start from the beginning again and beat all the stages and the boss. Oh man, that was tough. My dislikes of the game. Password system sucks. Yeah, so you have to, in this game, appropriately, since it's a 90s game, you have to find these VHS tapes, and those essentially, you have to find them in the map. So like, they don't just give you these VHS tapes. You have to look for them in the stage. Those VHS tapes become your kind of like your checkpoints, I guess, your passwords. So without those, you can't get like a checkpoint midway through the world. You have to start from the beginning of the world. So pretty annoying. I kind of wish, like, I know that Omega Ace just beat it on the re-released trilogy. They did a Gex trilogy, and I know they gave you a save after every stage, and I was like, man, I wish I had that, because it was so annoying having to find those VHS tapes. But yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, you have to earn the passwords I wrote. You have to beat the final world with no password. So like I mentioned, you have to the original PS1, you have to beat it all throughout without losing all your lives, the whole world. Platforming can be a bit wonky. That's one thing I had mentioned about this game, is I think it's a good game. I feel like I've heard a lot of hate for it. I don't think it's that bad. I dare say I think it's a good game. I thought I had a lot of fun with it. As you can see, I even bought the damn Gex Enter the Gecko shirt from Limited Run. I thought it was a fun game, but it kind of, I guess the way I would describe it is, it's kind of like Donkey Kong Country, which I will be talking about later in the video. It's kind of like Donkey Kong Country, but kind of like the Kroger brand Donkey Kong Country. It's a private selection Donkey Kong Country. It's your freaking what else? Freaking Kirkland signature brand version. It's not as good, obviously. It's not Donkey Kong Country, but it'll do the trick. So yeah, I gave Gex a rating of 3 out of 5. That's a like. For me, a 3 is a like. So I liked it. Swig a beer to old Gex, man. I love Gex. All right, next up, I beat in April 30th. I beat Super Mario Advance on the GBA SP. Shout out to Tylord because he gave me this little Game Boy Advance SP, and I have actually been playing games on it. So yeah, I beat in April Super Mario Advance, Super Mario 2. Super Mario 2, here he is. Super Mario 2 right there. I saw that Chris, CM Retro, also had this on his games he beat for last year. So I thought it was kind of cool that I also beat it last year. Yeah, I played it on the GBA. I would just play it like on train rides. Sometimes I take the Metrolink into LA. When my wife would take me to shopping DSW, and I'm like, I'll wait in the car, I'll sit outside on the chair, and I'll play some Game Boy while you shop for shoes. So it kind of took me a minute to beat it, but yeah, the likes, cool updated sprites. So like I said, it's Super Mario 2, kind of updated graphics, fun gameplay, challenging but not annoying. So hard, but I guess it didn't get on my nerves. Fun bosses like Wart and Mauser. Oh yeah, I really like the frog and then Wart and Mauser. I thought Mauser was so cool, the little mouse with the glasses. I have played this game a lot when I was a kid, and I used to collect, I don't know if you guys remember those like sticker, like Nintendo like cards that had stickers and little like scratch off games in them, and a lot of them were, they were like Punch Out, and a lot of them were Super Mario 2, and I always thought that Mauser dude looked so cool. The variety of playable characters, so yeah, you get Mario. Mario's kind of like your mid-tier guy. Luigi has the freaking Michael Jordan hops. Toad, man, he's like a freaking Mark Henry, like a power lifter. And Princess, she just floats, but she's kind of overpowered. I think I chose her a lot. And Luigi. And then sometimes Toad, when I had to do the stages where I had to like lift a lot of, like dig up dirt or lift a lot of stuff. Mario, yeah, he's kind of middle of the road. My only dislike was you fight Birdo too many times. That's one thing I remember. Like, you just fight Birdo, I think that's his name, right? The dude that shoots out the eggs. Like, you fight him like, I don't know how many times, like more than 10 times. He seems like the boss of like every stage outside of Wart, Mauser. I don't even remember. Was there someone? Wasn't there like a serpent or a snake? I don't remember, but I felt like I fought Birdo all the time. Rating, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I'm really happy I beat this one because even though I played Super Mario Brothers 2 a lot as a kid, I don't think I ever beat it. I don't think I've ever beaten a Nintendo game, an NES game, so it was kind of cool to be able to beat Super Mario Advance, Super Mario 2 on the GBA. Shout out to Tylord for that SP. Swig a beer for Mario 2. Alright, next up, back in May, I beat Raging Justice on the Xbox Series X. I beat this one with my friend the Billster. This was, shout out to Retro Ryan for this one. He actually gifted me this game. Raging Justice is essentially like a modern retro style beat 'em up, kind of like Streets of Rage. It kind of gave me vibes of a little bit of like Pit Fighter a little bit. So yeah, I beat this with Billy co-op, 2-player co-op. Likes, graphics are different and cool. Yeah, they're kind of not exactly Streets of Rage, not exactly Pit Fighter, almost like a mix of both. Fun gameplay, fun bosses like the pimp. Oh yeah, you fight a pimp. I think he does like a freaking Texas tornado spin, I think at some point. He could just keep spinning around. Moana looking boss. Moana looking boss, I don't remember that. Oh, I think that was the last boss. He looks like freaking not Moana. What was the Rock's name in the Moana movie? He was in Moana, right? Moana was the girl, right? Yeah, but there was a dude that looked like the Rock in that Moana movie. YMCA looking boss. Man, why am I not remembering that? YMCA looking boss. I'm guessing it was a dude dressed in chaps or something. fun co-op, satisfying when hitting enemies with weapons. Yeah, just, I mean, it's a fun beat 'em up. Dislikes can get repetitive, and I think you can say that about most beat 'em ups. Most beat 'em ups can get repetitive. I think we were talking about this recently, I think with maybe Vince, I don't remember with who, but talk about like that sweet spot for a beat 'em up, an hour and a half. I think when it gets past the 2 hour mark, I think it's a little too long. Like, keep it like hour and a half. So that's it. I gave it a rating of a 3.5 out of 5. Had a fun time with this one. Next up, I played Redfall on the Xbox Series X. This was a 4-player co-op game. We beat this back in May, and by we I mean myself, Retro Ryan, Rydog, Billy, and Killer. We all beat this together back in May. Let me get to the likes first. 4-player co-op, like I mentioned, 4-player co-op. I've always said I prefer actually playing games, beating games co-op. I think it's just more fun to play games with your friends. So it was fun doing the 4-player co-op. Dig my character with the robot, Bribon. Oh yeah, I think his name was Bribon. And the lady spoke in Spanish, and she would talk to her little robotic dog, like her robotic like little thing like a dog. Bribon, Bribon. Love the skill tree level up. So you could level up like your guns, but you could also level up, like I could level up my little robot Bribon, and I could make him shoot electricity. I could make him more powerful. I could make him more resilient, because he would get attacked by the vampires too. Horror theme. So this is you're essentially in a town called Redfall, and there's a bunch of vampires, and as this team you're pretty much trying to wipe out the whole town of the vampires and the evil. To be honest, I'm not someone that follows storylines for the most part. I kind of just want to shoot stuff, beat the game. The gist of it, that's what I understood. There's vampires, get rid of the vampires from this town of Redfall. So it was really cool. Like, I was really hyped to play this game. Like, 4 players, horror. I love horror stuff, as you can see. 4-player co-op, a shooter. I love shooters. What could go wrong, right? Well, some stuff did go wrong. Let me go to the dislikes. Repetitive bosses. Yeah, I think you fight like it almost felt like you kind of fought the same bosses over and over, like kind of bullet sponge, vampire witch things. Repetitive enemies. Yeah, you kind of fight like the same 5 enemies over and over. Too long of a game, almost 30 hours to beat. Oh my god. And yeah, this game was too long. Like, I mean, I'll get to some issues of what made it so long, but even then, I think this game would have still been like a 20-hour experience, minus the other issues I'm gonna talk about. This game didn't need to be that long. Like, it should have been 10 hours, 10 to 15 max, and that's already pushing it. Keep it short. I don't know why some of these games, I'm looking at you, Last of Us 2. Some of these games like pad on all this stuff, like just to make the game like longer. And hey, look, you're paying your, what is it now, $80. Like, look, it's a 20-hour, 25-hour game. Like, nah, man, just keep it short, sweet, trim the fat. I don't need to play no 30-hour game. Like, just give me 10, 15 hours of good gameplay. But the main reason that the game took us so long to beat, it was glitching. It was a glitchy mess. Spent about 3+ hours just trying to start a game. So we would literally, like, because we would live stream this on Wednesdays. We would literally spend like an hour and a half just trying to load in. So the biggest issue was like trying to load into the actual game. Like, I would send my friends the invites, try to load in. They would just load. Maybe I would go in, maybe one of my other friends would go in, but not everybody. It was like an hour. There's like, come on, there's like no excuse for that nowadays. Like, with these modern games, you can patch stuff up. Like, why didn't the company patch that? Like, why would they just be like, nobody's playing this shit anyways? Like, who cares? But I think that's bad. I think that's bad business. So I would just suggest in general, don't play this game. Like, if the company doesn't even care to fix the glitches, why would you even care to play this game? If the company that made it doesn't care, why should you care? We were just stubborn. We just got so far into the game where we're like, we're gonna beat this damn game. We're gonna beat it. But I would recommend staying away from this game. I give it a 1.5 out of 5. That broke my heart because I was really into this game. Like, I would say 5-10 hours in, and went downhill from there. Next up, I got back in June, another 4-player game. Killer, Ryan, Billy, and myself, we beat on the Series X Battle Circuit, which I believe is a 90s beat 'em up game, but we beat it on it's a part of a collection, I think, the Capcom collection maybe. Likes, 4-player co-op. Love me some 4-player co-op. Super weird and random selectable characters. Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot of this game, but I know there's like an ostrich or an enemy where a character where you're riding an ostrich. Like, the characters are really bizarre, but really fun. Dislikes, none. I guess I had no complaints about it. Gave it a 3 out of 5. Not much to say about it because I don't really remember. I think it was a really short game we beat. Next up, on the OG Xbox, I beat The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. This is a game I remember playing back in the day when I first got my OG Xbox, and thinking it was so cool. Like, man, this game looks cool. Like, it's all dark and gritty, and as Riddick, you can do these stealth kills with knives and bludgeon people to death. So I always wanted to go back and play it, even though I had never up until recently seen any of the Riddick movies. Recently, my friend Tyler sent me The Chronicles of Riddick Pitch Black on a DVD. And I saw them recently. Pitch Black I thought was okay. I thought Chronicles of Riddick was really cool. Like, they kind of upped the production, and the CGI is pretty good for early 2000s movie, and it had some fun action in there. So really cool to watch those movies. This game, from what I read, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a prequel. So it's when he's at the Butcher Bay, the prison, before Pitch Black, the movie, starts, I think. You can tell me, like I said, if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong a lot of time, pals. But yeah, this game, the likes, love the cutscenes, cool vibes, love the last couple of stages when I could shoot stuff and get in the mech. Oh yeah, so one of the last stages, you get in a mech and you're just like you're just mowing down everybody. You get these guns. You're like, you can go balls to the wall at the end. So that was fun. Dislikes, too dark sometimes. Yeah, I think maybe these games, even some of the 360 PS3 games, they had a lot of like dark games, a lot of grays. It was kind of hard to see sometimes. Too much stealth. Just not a fan of stealth. I don't like being stealthy. You don't get a gun till the last part of the game. Yeah, so that was the only thing. This game is very stealth based, which I'm just not a big fan of stealth. A lot of doing stealth, a lot of sneaking around, because you don't really have a gun till the end, and that's when you can go crazy. When I got to that, I was like, man, I wish the game had more of this. Like, maybe just a few stages of the stealth, and then let me just shoot people and blow people up. But yeah, most of the game is stealth and kind of you're sneaking around Butcher Bay trying to get out. Rating 3 out of 5. I thought it was a good game. I had fun with it, but definitely one I probably wouldn't go back to. I'm just glad I got to beat it. Another movie that I actually got sent by Tyler, I want to mention this, is The Boiler Room, which I just finished watching. So thanks for sending me that. And thanks to Mr. Matthews, because he had commented on my pickups video when I showed The Boiler Room. And I was like, is this a joke movie? Why did you send me The Boiler Room with Vin Diesel? And Mr. Matthews in the comments said, I think you should watch that movie. I think it's pretty good. He said, it's good. You should watch it. Just check it out. And I just finished watching it like right before this video. And I was like, damn, this movie is really, really good. I really like that movie. It's kind of like a Wolf of Wall Street a little bit. So if you haven't seen The Boiler Room, check it out. They should make a Boiler Room video game, like an RPG or something. Great fun. Gotta look for that on 4K. Next up, I beat on the Xbox Series X Dungeons and Dragons Chronicles of... Man, my writing sucks. Mystara? I don't know what the hell I wrote. It's one of those Dungeons and Dragons beat 'em up games. Yeah, beat this with Killer, Billy, Rydog. Likes 4-player co-op fun. You get to pick up weapons, magic, and use it, which is different than typical beat 'em ups. Okay, dislikes none. It's a fun beat 'em up. I know nothing about D&D, nothing, but I had a fun time playing it. 4 out of 5. Really liked it. We also beat that same month in June Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom on the Series X. Killer, Billy, Rydog, and myself. I think it's part of, I don't know if it's the same collection. I think it was you buy one, you get both, or it's a 2-pack on the Series X. But yeah, 4-player co-op beat 'em up fun. Great 90s graphics, more simplistic than... Man, I really got to work on my writing. Mystara? I don't know what the hell I wrote. Since they get rid of the item wheel. They get rid of the item wheel if you wheel. So, oh yeah, I remember now with the other one. There was kind of like when you had to select your item you wanted to use, like your magic or a staff or something. You had to go through like a wheel and select it. And I guess in this one they got rid of it. Dislikes none. 4 out of 5. So really fun games. If you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, I'm sure you've played this beat 'em up. Next up on my Retro Pi, my Raspberry Pi, I beat Jaws on the NES. You know how I mentioned earlier, I don't think I've ever beaten a Nintendo game. I'm almost certain I've never beaten an NES game back when I was a kid. So when I played this one on my Raspberry Pi, because I kind of saw like, it doesn't look too hard to beat. I was still not sure if I could beat it, but I was like, let me give it like a month and let me see if I can beat it. And I think that's what it took me, about a month to beat it. Yeah, so it was really cool to play that. Likes, it's short. Yeah, I think you can beat it, like in under 30 minutes, I think. Difficult, but cheesable. So the key word is cheesable. That is a word. Look it up in the dictionary. You can really cheese this game. So when you're the little character and you're in the ocean. So essentially in this game, all you're doing is like, you're leveling up your character up to like a 3 or a 4 or 5 of power, and then you take down Jaws, and then you battle him in like this final boss battle. But essentially what you do is you collect shells and you go from one port to the other, turn in your shells, level up, you rinse and repeat. You just keep doing the same thing, and then you can take down Jaws. So, but there's some things you can cheese, like if you stay at the very top. I think Tyler was the one that told me, stay at the very top of the ocean, Jaws can't get you. Like he'll swim right under you. It's kind of like a glitch. So that was cool to just do that. Like shoot him, go up. Shoot him, go up. Just I was cheesing the hell out of it. No shame here. I put kind of like Galaga. I guess in a weird way. I don't know what the hell I was talking about that. Maybe I meant like because you're just like, it's kind of like a shooter, like you're shooting fishes and stuff. And then you're kind of just dodging. Maybe that's what I meant. Dislikes, homing jellyfish. Jesus Christ, those jellyfish that are kind of like swaying around and trying to get you. Those were, I died so many times to those. But rating a 3 out of 5. Shout out to Jaws on the NES. Now I'm a fan of this game. Now I want a CIB copy of Jaws on the NES. Shout out to Jaws. Right, next up on the list, I beat Soul Calibur, the original Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. Shout out again to Tyler. He gifted me that Dreamcast, I think when I met up with them at the Sac Gamers Expo 2024. He gave me a Dreamcast with a bunch of games. Soul Calibur was one of them too. And I mean, it's just a fighter. It's a typical fighter. Likes, still holds up. Still a great fighter. Maxi with the nunchucks, and Ivy. Whoa-wee was. I actually wrote whoa-wee was. I remember Ivy. I think the people, the perverts in the chat were like, hey, shoot, I was digging the Maxi dude with the nunchucks. They were like, hey, can you choose Maxi? Can you choose, not Maxi, can you choose Ivy? Can you choose Ivy? And then when I picked the Ivy, I see why those guys wanted Ivy. Whoa, we was. Dislikes, none. It still holds up. It was a fun fighting game. Rating 4 out of 5. I think I beat it with Maxi, and then I think I beat it with this big ogre dude that I just kept spamming like the charge and knocking people off the platform. A little bit of cheese, if you will. Next up, I beat Donkey Kong Country on the Nintendo Switch, the OG Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, likes, I put fun, challenging platforming, awesome music. Man, the music in this, I don't know what the song of the water, when you're underwater, is it Aquatic Ambiance or something? I love that song. That's like my favorite one. And then there's one where you're like in the oil rig or something, and it's kind of playing like this little techno music. Who knows, maybe I'm playing it here in the background. The music is like freaking solid in this. Great graphics. I think these graphics still hold up. I remember when I was a teenager, I was a Sega Genesis kid, so I was just like all team Sega. But out of the side of my eye, I would see this Donkey Kong Country and be like, man, we don't got nothing like that over here. I think eventually we got Vector Man, kind of had those graphics, but back then I was like, man, nothing looks as good as that game. And I think the graphics still hold up. It's not too difficult. I didn't find it super difficult. There was like a couple stages where I died so many times. It was the minecart stage. I died a lot. And then there was a stage in the snow where you're kind of you're being precise with the barrels. There was another one with barrels. I think you're like, I don't know what you call that one, but it was like really dark and you're jumping through wooden platforms and you have to go through the barrels. I died a lot in those stages, but outside of that, the bosses, I think I mostly beat them on the first try. Outside of what's the final boss, K. Rool, I think. Outside of him and maybe one of the last flamingos, maybe I died once, but pretty easy to beat the bosses. It's the platforming that's the hard part. But also a big fan of Diddy Kong doing his little Bam Bam Bigelow cartwheel. I love Diddy Kong. Now I want like a little Diddy Kong figure. I gave this game a 4 out of 5. Really like this game. Swig a beer for Diddy Kong's Bam Bam Bigelow cartwheel. Next up, I got Fighter's History, also known as Karnov's Revenge on the Nintendo Switch. I put likes, good Street Fighter 2 ripoff. I think they actually got sued, didn't they? I think I saw a video on YouTube where Capcom was suing, I don't know the company, is it Data East? I don't know who the company is, but they were suing them because this is like, they were like, hey, this is a freaking straight ripoff. Funny characters. Yeah, you got, I always like Mizaguchi. When you kill him and he lets out like that loud scream. You also got like a dude that looks like Bruiser Brody, pro wrestler Bruiser Brody. You got a dude that looks like a little LGBTQ Guile. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. The characters are pretty funny. I put wrestling moves. Oh yeah, the more feminine Guile, he does like a DDT, and I think he even says DDT. So me being a big wrestling fan, I love every time there's wrestling moves, I love it. Dislikes, Mizaguchi's fireball stinks. I don't know why I wrote that. Did he just have a shitty fireball? I don't know. I think I might have beat it with Mizaguchi. Who knows? I don't know. Or maybe I beat it with Dollar Tree Bruiser Brody. I don't remember. I gave this game a 3 out of 5. I think it's fun. It's a fun game. Next up, I beat Resident Evil 5 on the Xbox Series X. This is with my buddy Starky Plug, the Sanctum Starktorum. Likes, I've beaten this game in the past, and I know a lot of people, like, once they beat a game, they won't count it. I'm trying to pad my stats here, pals. I gotta pad my stats. I'm gonna add this because I did beat it again. Likes, fun co-op, funny wrestling moves. I think you can do like a freaking like German suplex in this, can't you? And the Alexa Bliss double knee drop, I think, or no, the Sasha Banks double knee drop, or I don't know who does it, Alexa Bliss or Sasha Banks. Dislikes tank controls. I'm just not a fan of tank controls, but I think in this game it's not that bad because you're playing with your friends, so you can kind of back each other up. It's not as difficult. Some glitches. Oh yeah, there was some. I think it was the stage where you're in the back of the truck and you're like gunning down like all these enemies. It kept glitching for us. There were some stages that glitched out, so that was pretty annoying. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. I think this is like the third time I've beaten this game. And I think I beaten it a couple of times with my friend Daniel, Psycho T. I think I might have, I don't know if I ever beat this with Killer, but it was cool to beat it with a new pal with Starkey Plug. And even when we were playing it, I was like, dude, I don't remember a lot of this. So it kind of felt like I was playing it for the first time again. But shout out to Stark. That was a fun time. We got to beat more games this year. Next up, I've got TMNT Tournament Fighters, the SNES version. I beat this on my Series X. It's part of the Cowabunga collection. I beat this alone, and I use Armagon. Come on now, I'm El Tiburon. I gotta choose a shark. I love me some turtles. I'm looking right here at a display of my Ninja Turtles figures and posters and stuff. I love me some turtles, but I gotta pick Armagon. I gotta pick the shark. Likes, it's a good Street Fighter 2 copycat. Just like Carniv's Revenge. It's a copy. Everybody was copying. All the fighting games in the 90s were trying to be Street Fighter 2. Armagon is fun to use. Yeah, Armagon. At first I didn't really know how to use him, and then I realized, oh, Armagon is Guile. Because you do the back, forward, and he shoots like a projectile from his mouth. Then you can hold down and up with, I think it's the high, is it high punch or one of the high kick or high punch, and he does like a he kind of like jumps up and knocks you out of the air. So he's essentially Guile. Once I realized, oh, this dude's Guile, he was pretty easy to use. Dislikes, none. It's a fun beat 'em up. 3.5 out of 5 for TMNT Tournament Fighters on the Super Nintendo. Next up, we're coming to the final stretch, pals. I beat another TMNT, another Toidles game. TMNT Arcade Wrath of the Mutants. I beat this on my PlayStation 5, and I beat this with my friend Daniel, Tuna, Psycho T. Likes, fun arcade beat 'em up. It has 4 players, even though we only beat it 2. Feels a bit like a reskin Turtles in Time. It did feel like a reskin Turtles in Time. This had the graphics of like the early 2000s. I think it was early 2000s Nickelodeon TMNT. The Shredder boss gives you a bit of a challenge. So for the most part, the game is pretty easy. You can get through it like pretty easily. It's like, I think it's 4 stages and then the Shredder boss. Or the Shredder stage. The Shredder stage is really short. You just fight a few enemies and then you fight Shredder. But it's pretty easy to get through. The only times we died, I think we might have died twice, was when we got to the Shredder stage, because you needed to kind of learn his pattern. So that was kind of cool to get a little bit of a challenge, because sometimes beat 'em ups can be way too easy. Dislikes, too easy. Like I said, I guess it was too easy. Like up until the Shredder battle, it was way too easy. End credits screen stinks. I remember that we beat the Shredder, and then it's just like different images. I don't even know if they were connected or made any sense. Just different images of like April, a couple of the turtles, and then that's the end of the game, and you're like, what the hell? What was the ending? Nonetheless, we still had fun with it. It was a good hour and 15 minutes, however long it took us to beat it. It was a good time. 3 out of 5 for TMNT Arcade Wrath of the Mutants. Next up, I got Saturday Night Slam Masters. This was on the Capcom Arcade Second Stadium Collection. Saturday Night Slam Masters. This is, I believe, the arcade version of the game. This was on the Series X, and I beat this with my friend the Billster, Billy. I've never beaten the SNES one, But man, I love that game so much. Saturday Night Slam Masters on the SNES. A lot more than the Sega Genesis. And like I said, I'm a Sega kid, and I recently had gotten the Genesis version. It sucks. It doesn't even have two-player tag team battle. But we played the arcade version in this collection. So good, man. The graphics are better than the SNES. The music's a little bit better. And you can do the tag team. So, likes. Pro Wrestling by Capcom. Great music. The music in this game. And you guys know Capcom. Come on. Capcom. You can't go wrong with Capcom music. Great music. Great characters. Yeah, you got Grader. It's Grader time. He's essentially a bootleg version of Vader. You got, I think, Titanic Tim, which is a bootleg version of Giant Gonzalez. They got a Kabuki guy. I don't know who he's supposed to be. There's another little guy that looks like Rey Mysterio. There's Rasta. That was my main guy, Rasta. There's Hagar. I think there's Gunlock. And was the other guy Biff, I think? Biff Bagwell. Yeah, so I love this game. Fun tornado tag action. Great arcade graphics. And the game was not that easy. I could definitely see this being an arcade game that was making you feed it quarters. Because in one of the matches, I think we fought Grader. I don't know who the other guy was, but Grader was giving us a tough time. We could not pin Grader. He was beating the hell out of us. But we got through. Dislikes for this game, none. 4 out of 5. It's I love me some Saturday Night Slam Masters. I want some action figures of Saturday Night Slam Masters. Give me a Rasta. Give me a Titanic Tim. Give me a Jumbo. I think that was named Jumbo. Give me those figures. Swig a beer for Saturday Night Slam Masters. Next up, I beat God of War 2 on my PS Vita. Shout out to the Vita, man. Underrated handheld. I don't hear too many people talk about the Vita. I hear people talk about the 3DS, the Game Boy, the Switch. Show a little love to the Vita. The Vita's awesome. Likes for God of War 2 on the PS Vita. Great cinematics. Man, the cinematics are so cool in this game. I wish that more games had cinematics like in that style. Fun hack and slash. Great kills. You're tearing off people's limbs. You're taking away their sword and stabbing them with them in the head. Epic music. The music makes you feel like you're like in this epic Clash of the Titans battle. Kratos is a badass, man. Kratos is so freaking hilarious. Like, I remember cracking up. You get to this bridge in the game. You get to a bridge, and it's like it's part of the bridge is missing. It's collapsed. And at the end of the bridge is Icarus. I think Icarus is there. And he's telling Kratos, like, hey, man, I'm trying to get through this bridge. I got these wings. I'm going to make it. And Kratos is like, well, I guess I'm going to just have to rip off your wings and put them on me. And I'm going to get across. And then he discards of Icarus off the bridge. Pretty hilarious. Kratos, I love Kratos. Dislikes. Touchscreen function to switch weapons kills combat. Oh yeah, that was my biggest gripe with this game. So when you're holding the Vita, right, the left stick is really close to the screen. So the problem with that is that some of the stuff in the game requires you to touch the screen. So to use like a kind of like slow down time, you touch the top right part. To switch weapons happens to be the screen, the part of the screen right next to the left stick. So you're like battling and you're constantly switching your weapons. And that's really annoying. I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a problem if for some of the weapons, like certain actions you can't do with certain weapons. So there's the blades, and with the blades you can parry, so you can parry out of the way. I kept switching to this weapon that's like a mallet. With that mallet, it's super strong. Problem is, you can't parry. So like you're in the middle of battling someone, you're into it, and you're constantly switching to the mallet, and you're constantly getting hit because you can't parry. So I think the way they kind of set it up, like how you switch weapons, was a miss, man. It was really annoying. I think a workaround is I switched to, it's kind of like a baton. where it was like I had leveled up my what do they call those, the blades, so high that I didn't want to switch weapons, but at least if I switched to the baton I could still parry. So that was kind of like a workaround I did, but they should have figured out another way to switch the weapons. Annoying, hard to figure out puzzles. This might just be me. I'm just not a fan of puzzles. I just don't like puzzles. Most of them I try to solve them on my own, but towards the end, if something was taking me longer than 10 minutes, 15 minutes to figure out, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't care. I'm going to a walkthrough. Tell me exactly what I gotta do, because the puzzle you'd have to figure out would be like, you're in this room, there's these items, figure it out. And you're like, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So I don't got time for that. I don't got time for it. After a while I was like, nah, how do I solve this? All I wanted to do was combat. I didn't want to be solving puzzles. Some annoying stages that are difficult, like the never-ending exploding bats while turning a crank. Oh yeah, so some of the stages just felt like annoying for the sake of being annoying. Like that stage where you're kind of like turning a crank, and you have to get the crank. It's like an elevator, so you have to get that platform to the highest part of the building by turning the crank. But while you're doing that, these never-ending bats show up, and they're shooting you with fire. And if you kill them and they land by you, they blow up. So you're constantly killing them, avoiding the explosions, turning the crank. But as soon as you want to turn the crank, more come. Oh my god. Some of those stages just felt so like trolly, like they're trying to troll you. I'm like, oh my god, this is so annoying. But got through it. I was not a fan of some of those stages. I gave this a rating of a 3 out of 5. I love the original. The original God of War is one of my favorite PS2 games. Love it. This one, I think it would have got a higher rating if it wasn't me playing it on the Vita, because I think the touchscreen switching weapons thing kind of killed it. So I would suggest don't play this on the Vita. Having said that, swig a beer to the Vita. I still love the Vita. All right, next up, final game that I beat this year. I think I beat, yeah, this was the final hour. This was like 2 days before the new year started. I beat Resident Evil 4, I don't know what you call it, the remake, the remake, right? The remake on the Xbox Series X. I've never beaten a Resident Evil 4 in any console, so I never beat it on the GameCube. I never beat it on PS2. I never really played it from what I remember. Killer says otherwise. He said, I lent you the game. I don't really remember playing it. So this was like all new to me. The story was all new. The characters, well, outside of Leon, because I had played through Resident Evil 2, but this was kind of exciting because I was like, oh, I've never beaten Resident Evil 4 in any form. I beaten 1 back on the PlayStation 1. I beaten 2, the remaster. I beat 3, the remaster or remake. I don't know. I get confused with remaster, remake. I beat, like I mentioned earlier, I beat 5. Right now I'm currently working through part 6 with Stark. It should take us about another 10 years. I beat Biohazard. I beat Village, but I've never beaten 4. So it was cool to play through this one. Likes, great action / combat, tight controls, spooky, awesome graphics. Game is right up my alley. So this game just checked off a lot of boxes for me. Action, horror, tight controls, Resident Evil. That's another. I love Resident Evil games. It just checked off so many boxes. This was right up my alley. Dislikes, Ashley. We'll get to her later. Ashley was my biggest dislike. Other than that, dude, this game, I couldn't really find any flaws with this game. Ashley, that was it. Rating of 4.5 out of 5. This is a great game. And maybe one day, I know Tyler keeps telling me, all right, now you got to go and play the original Resident Evil 4. I can't promise I will, but Maybe someday I will, but not this next coming year. Maybe I need a little break from Resident Evil 4. Maybe a year or two down the line, maybe I'll give it a shot. Yeah, but that was it. I beat 19 games this year. I think it might be down from last year. I want to say last year maybe I beat 20. Maybe I cracked 20. But as you guys know, when you're in your 40s, maybe even late 30s, maybe a little older 50s, it's a little harder to make time sometimes to play. Like you kind of have to squeeze it in when you can. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter. Um, so 19 for me, that's good. That's good. So let me get kind of to like my stats. Let's throw up the stats right here. So I've always with people when I live stream, I mentioned this a few times. My goal is always when beating games, try to beat one game per console that I own. So these are the games the consoles that I own. Try to at least beat one. Try to at least beat one, because I'm not a fan of just having the console and it just sits there collecting dust, because I wanted to get the console because I wanted to get it, and that's it. I gotta play it. Like if I have it, you gotta play it. If you're not gonna play it, get rid of it. So as you can see, I'm a big, I'm an Xbox fanboy. I love playing on my Xbox Series X. I beat 9 games on the Series X. I beat, next up was Switch with 2 games. PS5 I got 1. Raspberry Pi I got 1. Mega SG I got 1. OG Xbox I got 1. Dreamcast I got 1. PS3 I got 1. PS Vita I got 1. GBA SP I got 1. The only 2, this is probably the best I've done since I've been doing these videos in beating like a game per console. The only 2 that I didn't beat a game for was the Analog 3D, and that's because I just got it like December. I just got it in December, and I literally just set it up um, this first week of January. And my 360, I didn't beat a game on it because my Xbox 360 red ringed. I was supposed to play Raid 5. I threw it up in a members only poll. Choose the 360 game I'm gonna play through. People selected Raid 5, I think it was. I go to turn on my Xbox 360. The power brick gives. There's no light on it. I buy another power brick. Red ring on the console. So that's gonna be kind of like my goal, I guess, for game collecting this year. I need to find another console that I can attach. It's that side attachment hard drive. Another console where I can attach my saves and all that, because I do wanna when I get that, play through Raid 5. Yeah, so 19 games total. Only 2 consoles I didn't beat a game for. And last but not least, I want to get to some awards. Let's hand out some awards for the year in gaming. So first off, we're gonna go with let's just go straight to the game of the year. What was my favorite game of this year? I gotta go Resident Evil 4, man. Like I said, it checked off a lot of boxes. It got my highest score, 4.5 out of 5. Right up my alley. What can I say? This game was awesome, man. I had a fun time playing it. It was, some parts were really difficult. I think you're in this cabin. All these dudes are trying to get in, and kind of sounds weird, but yeah, all these zombies are trying to get in. There's like the pig man with the hammer comes in. It is some of this stuff. I died. I feel like I didn't die a lot in this game, but there was some parts of the game where I died a few times, and I thought the difficulty was just right. It was challenging. Like, this game was just right up my alley. I love this game. Shout out to Resident Evil 4, that new Resident Evil 4. That was my game of the year. Next up, the dud. What was my dud of the year? Which got the big thumbs down? I think if you watch the video, if you've seen all the video, it's Redfall, man. Redfall, 1.5 out of 5. It didn't even deserve that 0.5. Maybe it didn't even deserve that 1.5. It was a stinker. That glitching mess ruined the whole experience. A video games for me are an escape or a way to blow off steam, maybe from work, just bills, being an adult. a game shouldn't make you annoyed and upset, and that's what Redfall I think did for all of us. Billy, Killer, Ryan, and myself. It was annoying. So Redfall, you get the dud of the year, pal. Next up, this is my first time giving this award out. Who is my gaming pal of the year? This is gonna be who helped me beat the most games. Who is my gaming pal of the year? And let's get a little drum roll. Let's get the drum roll here. It is my friend, childhood friend, the Billster. You're the gaming pal of the year, pal. With you, I beat 6 video games. I beat 19 total. That's like almost. That's like a third, right? I beat a third of my games with the Billster. Some of them 4-player co-op, some of them co-op. 6 games. Next on the list was a tie between Ryan and Killer. We beat 4 games total. And then Stark, I beat 1. Resident Evil 5 with my friend Psycho T. Tuna, I beat TMNT Wrath of the Mutants. But Billster, you're the gaming pal of the year. He couldn't be here to accept the trophy, his award in person. But he was nice enough to send us a pre-recorded video on his thoughts on winning this prestigious award. A first time. When people look back in the history of my channel, they're gonna say, who was the first ever gaming pal of the year award winner? It's the Billster. So here goes the Billster. How do you feel about getting this award?
I'll get chicken a little bit later. Anyways, sorry guys, I'm here on the set. I couldn't be there to accept the award in person, but I'm here on the set of the Cheesecake Chronicles, so it'll be out on Netflix later. But I just want to give a little thanks to the committee for giving me this beautiful award here. Me and Tib been playing games for 30 years, but 2025, I did not know my biggest accomplishment would be Gaming Pal of the Year. So thank you so much. We played a lot of fun games, you know, and I'd say from the group that we had, Redfall was my least favorite. You know, I went crying to bed every night after playing that game, but Saturday Night Slam Masters was my favorite, and it brought back memories from as a kid, and well, you know, it was just fun to play. But any game is fun to play with Tib, and as you guys know. But let's go for 7 next year, pals. Thank you so much, and I gotta go get some cheesecake.
Swig a beer for the Billster. Thanks for that video. And the last award, maybe I should have put this one at first. This is ending kind of in bad news, on a bad note, I guess. My first ever annual Piece of Trash of the Year award. So this is gonna be I just started it this year too, so it's gonna be like, maybe it's a character, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a character you select, maybe it's someone I played with. That'd be kind of mean to give him a Piece of Trash of the Year award though. Maybe it's the freaking controller I use, who knows. But it's gonna be the damn Piece of Trash of the Year in gaming. So first time winner, inaugural winner of the Piece of Trash of the Year award goes to none other than Ashley from Resident Evil 4. Ashley, you really outdid yourself. You tripped over your own feet. Those zombie druids would breathe on you and you would fall over. You constantly needed picking up. And then what do you do at the end of the game? Leon gives you credit and really talks you up like the simp that he is for Ashley. I'm just joking. I don't know if he's simping for Ashley, but he's like talking her up, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? We did everything. She didn't do anything. She could have at least handed us some ammo, like the chick from BioShock Infinite, who is a real MVP, give you like a weapon. She could have done something. She could have been scavenging, finding you little like gold or something to sell. She did nothing. She did absolutely nothing. And then at the end, Leon talks her up, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I guess I am pretty great." Oh man, look at that look on her face too. I could not stand Ashley. It was she was a real pain in the ass. I'm not a fan of Ashley. Congratulations on your first time. You're a first time winner. Piece of Trash of the Year award, Ashley. And then let me just add the games I couldn't beat. It was 3 that I could think of. I couldn't beat one on the PS1. Really cool looking game. it was just too freaking hard. I got to the stage 2 boss when you're up on the ship shooting all these other ships. I was like, this is gonna take me half the year to beat. Like, I'm now, but it was really cool. Really cool game. I just couldn't beat it. Borderlands 3, just like Redfall, glitchy mess. We kind of just tapped that out. Killer, Billy, Ryan, and myself. We just tapped out by the end of it. Xeno Crisis on the Vita. Oh man, this game is freaking badass. Really, really cool. It's kind of like Smash TV. Played this on my Vita. Really, really cool. I just can't beat it. I just kept getting stuck on. I couldn't get past like a certain stage. I think it's a short game, but I could not. And I even saw Mazin Power stream it, but I think he was playing it on the lower difficulty. I was playing on the standard difficulty, which is usually what I like to do. I just leave the game on the standard difficulty. I couldn't beat it, so to me, I was like, well, I just can't beat this game. But it is one that I'll probably every now and then go back to and see if I can get a little further, but just couldn't beat these games. But yeah, man, that's it for me, pals. Let me know if you've beaten any of these games. Let me know if you have any thoughts on these games. Let me know how many games you beat this year. And this is a swig, again, to all the gamers out there, young and old and in between. This goes to you guys. Now, Bobby, see these nice people out of my room.
And I'd like you to get the fuck out of here.
It's all
Get out of here! Get out of my room!